The velopharyngeal port is like a trap door. And basically, it seals off airflow to the nasal cavity. So if I make an oral sound, it has to be closed so that air will come up and go through my mouth. If I want to make a nasal sound, I can open it and then air will come up and go through my nasal cavity. Let me give you some examples. If I can leave them, I can leave it open while I talk. Just leave it open instead of alternating opening and closing. And if I leave it open, air will start to escape through my nose and my mouth at the same time, and I'll sound hypernasal. I can also just close it and just leave it shut. So if I close it and leave it completely closed while I talk to you, I'll sound like this. And this is hypodasal. So my nasal sounds don't sound nasal anymore. Okay? So you heard even the M with this closed turned into a B-like sound. Eddie Bohr. Okay? So that's because I had left this sealed. Air came up and had to come out my mouth instead. Good. The nasal consonants in English are and as in sing. And and so what we do is, for those sounds, we're going to open this trap door in the back so that air can escape through our nose. But as you already saw, when I was letting air escape through my mouth and nose just completely and simultaneously, it's very inefficient. I run out of air really quickly because we have to valve. We have to clamp down and kind of regulate the rate at which we let our air escape so that we can talk for a while before we have to breathe in again. So what we do is we create a seal. And so when we make the sound, like in me, I'm going to open the door and let air escape through my nose. Okay? And you can do that. You can test yourself. So where am I creating a seal? Where am I valving? Well, is bilabial. And so I'm going to create a seal with my two lips, my upper and lower lip. So this is going to valve or seal the oral cavity. And then air is still free to escape because I've opened the trap door and air is going to come out of my nose. Now, let's move to n. Now for n, my mouth is open, right? So is air going to escape? No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my tongue. It's going to touch the alveolar ridge, but it's actually going to create a bigger seal than that. So I can go up to the alveolar ridge, but what I'm actually going to do is let the sides of my tongue actually seal all around the borders of my teeth. And so I've created a seal, an oral seal. Open the trap door, air escapes. Last one, ng. Ng is a sound that often comes up for in clinical situations, especially when I work with accent clients, they often switch n and ng. And what I often have to tell them is up and back. So your tongue has to go up and block. So ng is velar, and we're going to use the back of our tongue to go up, block off the air from coming out the oral cavity, open the trap door, and let air come out. Ready? Okay, so it might seem counterintuitive that open is for nasals, but that's because you're opening the door to the nasal cavity. And then when we want air just come out of our mouth, we close that door and let air come out through here. Sound good? Hope that helps.